Hi everyone, welcome back to Quincy's Recipes. Let's make a quick and easy one today. We are making homemade baked tortilla chips. Let's make them. First thing we're going to need is some whole wheat tortillas. Now keep in mind you can use any tortillas of your choice. Any flour tortilla, I've used all of them, whole wheat, non-whole wheat, I've used small, I've used large, I've used all of them and they all work. So I'm just using the flour whole wheat tortillas, the large ones here. They come in a 10 pack. And now you want a sharp, non-serrated knife, and you just want to cut them in half. You can cut as many as you want at a time. You can cut less if it's easier for you, whatever you like. Now I'm gonna set these aside. We're going to take this half, cut them in half. Then you want to cut the halves in half as well. You can cut these however you like. I'm just making large chip pieces because I'm using large tortillas here. But if you use the small tortillas, it'll be just the regular size of chips. And this is what we're left with, some nice large tortilla chips. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our tortillas here, and we are going, or I should say, our tortilla chips, and we're going to place them into a large bowl. I'm going to do half at a time because they're very large. These are gonna be delicious. They are so good. They work out every time. They last really well. You're gonna love these. Now we're going to add a couple tablespoons of olive oil, and then save the rest for the other half. You can use a very large spoon and just mix everything together, or you can also use some tongs, whatever is easier for you. And you want to keep doing this until all of your little tortilla chips are coated in the olive oil. If you're using the small tortillas, you can just use a large spoon and you can coat them really well in the olive oil. But I'm finding it much easier to use the tongs for the larger chips. Do what's easy for you. You do you. Now everything looks good here. You want to have a baking sheet, like a cookie sheet, lined with some parchment paper. And you also want to preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So these look really good. They're all coated. What I have here is a cookie sheet or a baking sheet lined with some aluminum foil and parchment paper. Aluminum foil is optional. And on the parchment paper, I just sprayed a little bit of avocado spray, and you can use any spray that you have. And I just find it adds a little more crispiness to the tortilla chips, but it's completely up to you if you don't want to add them because the olive oil will also help crisp them up. And now I have my oven preheating. We're going to place our tortilla chips on our sheet here. So you just want to place some of your tortilla chips on here and just place them as even as you can. They can overlap a little bit, just not too much because you want them to be nice and crispy. And what I love about this is they're not fried, they're baked, so they're healthier, they're delicious, made with olive oil. They're just wonderful, so easy to make, and you can make these in like minutes. Now with my remaining tortilla chips coated in olive oil, I'm going to place them on a separate baking sheet. Before we get to baking our tortilla chips, you want to sprinkle some salt. I'm using some fine sea salt. You can use whatever you have or whatever you prefer. Now at this time, you could also make a little spice blend. You could add in different spices in a bowl, mix them all together and sprinkle it on your chips. Or you can do that after you make your chips and make a little spice blend and mix them all together. It is completely up to you. Any way you make it, they're gonna be amazing. I can promise you that. Now we're going to place these into our preheated oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to bake them for about 12 to 14 minutes. They will become a nice golden brown brown. They will be crispy and delicious. I'll let you know what they look like once they're done and how long mine were in the oven for. So let's get to baking. My tortilla chips baked for exactly 14 minutes. Now what I did was I placed one of my baking sheets on the top rack and the other one on the lowest rack. And then halfway through baking, I switched them. So put the top on the bottom, bottom on the top, and then I baked for another 7 minutes. So in total, 14 minutes of baking time. They are perfection. They're still really hot, but they're crispy. They are wonderful. I'm going to let them cool for a few minutes and we're gonna try one. While our tortilla chips are cooling, I just wanted to show you, I made some white tortilla chips yesterday, allowed them to cool completely and placed them into a Ziploc bag. And I just wanted to show you, the texture is still so crispy. They are wonderful. And this is what the white flour tortilla chips look like after baking. And I just want you to hear the crunch after almost a day and a half. So delicious. So either or will work perfectly. My whole wheat tortilla chips have cooled for a few minutes, and now I just want to show you one up close. They are golden, delicious, crispy. They are simply perfection. Let's take a bite.
So good, they're just so good.
They are divine, so delicious. The Super Bowl is coming up. Make a batch for yourself, your family, your friends. They're gonna love them. And stay tuned because I am bringing you a nacho cheese recipe that is to die for. So make sure you make these. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Go Eagles, go!